This is my M5 Phalanx heavy pistol prop from Mass Effect, and I recently did a weathering video on it to show some basic techniques. Well, I got a lot of questions about the stencils on the side of the gun, so I've gone back in time so that I can show you how I did them. Here's the M5 Phalanx prop. I use this to show off some masking techniques, and I want to go ahead and do a weathering demo on this, but before that, I need to add the decals showing just which gun it is, the M5. Now, I already have a stencil video, and it's pretty thorough. You can go watch that if you want, but I figured I'd cover a lot of that same stuff a couple of years later. Maybe I'm better at it now. Who knows? Anyway, these are some stencils that I made. So these are some vinyl stencils. If you're curious, this is the Decal 813 masking vinyl or stencil vinyl. There's a bunch of different ones. This stuff here I just picked up, I think, from US Cutter because they're local. There's a store up in Redmond. Yeah. The design itself is done in Inkscape. I like Inkscape for doing most of my vector stuff. It was just drawn tracing out a picture of the side of the gun, a screenshot from the game. And that's a path that outlines the outside of the decal. That got sent over to the cutting software for my cutter. You might have something different, like, let's say, a Silhouette Cameo. Those seem to be pretty popular these days. And the little blade on the machine just ran around that path and cut out through the stencil vinyl and down into the backing piece, but not all the way through it, which is very important. Once the machine cut all the way through, I could weed out the decal parts, leaving a void on the inside. That was covered with some transfer tape so I could peel it off and put it on my prop. And here we are, my prop with my decals ready to go. One of the things that I like about this stencil vinyl, other than it's a fairly low tack so it won't rip up my paint, is that it is semi-transparent. So when I peel it off the back there, there we go. The paper backing comes off, but I can see through it enough to be able to line it up. This is really handy for just visually making sure everything is lined up in parallel the way it ought to be. And I can tack it down like that, just kind of gently. Double check my reference picture so that I know it's in the right spot. There we go, that looks pretty good right there. I'm gonna tack it down just gently with my finger and peel away the transfer tape. I can go around one more time and make sure that is tapped down nicely. And then I can mask off the rest of the gun. For that, I have my fancy tool I showed off in my masking video that just puts some tape on a piece of paper. I can lay it down and go all the way around and cover everything except for the part that I want to paint. I think what I'll do is just paint all of it blue and then cover this part and paint that black. The black should cover the blue, no problem. Ready to go. I've got my airbrush loaded up with the appropriate color, and I'll try and come in directly. Are you done? And I'm gonna try and come in perpendicular to the surface that I'm painting. I don't want to come in at a shallow angle and potentially force paint underneath the stencil. Now, this stencil masking should be fine. If I was worried about paint creeping under there, I'd hit this with a coat of clear first to stop up any gaps, but I think I'm okay here. Okay, here we go. That's one fairly light coat. I'll probably do 2 coats and call it good. Oh, something else real quick. I've got these bench cookies. They're just little things to hold stuff with foam on it so it doesn't get all scratched up. I'm gonna flip this over to do the other side, and I'm going to prop the piece up on those so that none of the area I just painted will touch the workbench. That way I can work on the other side while the bottom side is drying and not worry about messing it up. This side here has had, I don't know, maybe 5 in it. Son of a... This side here's had about 5 minutes to dry. It's not coming off when I touch it, which is awesome. I'm gonna spray on the last layer of blue. and then I can swap over to the black and get that 5 painted. Very nice. Okay, time to paint that 5 black. Now again, I can test on this area over here. The blue paint is dry enough. It's not going to come off if I touch it. So I want to mask off that M with some tape. Just cut the edge of that nice and smooth. And I don't need this to be really robust. It just needs to cover that seam. I don't want to press it down. I just painted that like 5 minutes ago. So that should be enough to mask that off. And I'll spray the black. Here we go, 1 layer should do it. That's good. Okay, that black paint isn't quite dry yet, so I'll be careful demasking this, but that's okay. Very nice. I can and I want to be careful here. I don't want to peel any of the white paint up, although it has had several days to dry. It should be okay. Still don't want to go yanking it. I want to pick up an edge and pull it as parallel with the surface as possible, nice and slowly. Now that ripped, that's fine. I'm just going to keep going. And grab this corner here and pull that back. There we go. Boy, that looks awfully nice. Before I finish up, I got a quick bonus for you. This gun has this glass piece here, or plastic light looking thing. So I drew up a quick little pattern in Inkscape and had my laser cut this out of an 1/8 inch thick acrylic plastic. I'll just peel the backing off of that, throw that away. This will go in there, but I want it to be a little bit shinier. So I got a piece of aluminum tape and I'm going to use that as a backing for this stuff. Show you what I mean. I'm going to peel the back off of the aluminum tape and I'm going to stick my piece of acrylic on there, and I really want it on there nice and solid. So I got my tweezers. I'll just squeegee that on so that when you look down through this, it's got something shiny reflecting back. It's a little bit more pretty, I guess, than just the white in the back there. So I have all this extra stuff sticking off the side. I can use my X-Acto knife and trim that flush. There we go, ready to install. Not super pretty, doesn't have to be. Just needs to go right in there, like that. I will probably super glue that in there when it's ready to go, and it'll look really pretty. So now we got a little extra something going on in there. I like it. And that's it. A quick primer on doing some stencils and some masking for your next prop project. Thanks so much for checking out the videos. Of course, go check out the other videos I've done on this particular prop here. Some masking and some weathering. You'll learn a whole bunch. It'll be great for your next big cosplayer prop project. Now I need to head back to the future where Doc Brown is waiting for me.